Come and dream with me.
Hello and welcome to the What Do You Want to Watch 2003 Fantasy Movie Game Draft. I'm your host, Ashley Hobley. Joining me today, Dylan Blight.
Hello, did I win 2022?
Yes, so let's just kick things off right there with the results from the 2022 draft. So you can have it over to explosionnetwork.com, or you can check the show notes below. I've got a full article with full results from this year with all the scores. But Dylan did win with a final score of 158 to 117.
Smasher.
Key points. Dylan had only one movie that was delayed to 2023. I had three. So, really, strategy-wise, that was a bit of a miss. I'll admit that. The movie that got the most points, Top Gun Maverick, which was...
What did I say?
What?
When did I pick that?
That was... I want to say... There was either 9 or 10. I can't remember who picked first.
Okay.
Yeah, so... Both of us had multiple opportunities to pick that movie and, didn't. So that netted you 44 points as the highest grossing movie of the year. Interesting. I'll also read up the top 10 movies of the year based on box office. I will say we obviously have done this a little bit before Christmas, before the end of the year. So technically Avatar could,
Yeah.
but to make a difference in the points tally, it would have to make over $760 million worldwide, which I don't think it's going to do in 3 weeks.
No.
So at number 10, we've got Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Number 9, Moon Man. Number 8, Watergate Bridge. Those two films, both Chinese films. Number 7 is Thor: Love and Thunder. Number 6, The Batman. Number 5, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Number 4, Minions: The Rise of Gru. Number 3, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Number 2, Jurassic World Dominion. Number 1, Top Gun Maverick. So yeah, interesting list of films that made a ton of money this year. I will say other points. I did my 2 highest gross point scoring films with of the mid-year draft that we did. So if I hadn't have done well on those, I might have been much further behind. And my third pick was Babylon.
What were they? What was it?
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever and The Fabelmans.
Yeah.
Fabelmans and Babylon technically 2022 films, but they've got review scores out in 2022. So, and Babylon, it's got barely any review scores, so it could have been higher. I could have had more points.
Could have had none. Technically, they came out in 2023.
That's you won by a lot, so I mean, calm down. And then the other interesting point is I had the only movie that got negative points in Don't Worry, Darling.
Points.
Well, if you get less than 60, like 6.0 on the Rotten Tomatoes critic score, you lose points.
Oh,
and that was my only
rules.
You had Jurassic World Dominion, which was the lowest scoring critic wise, but you had obviously it earned you points because it did so well at the box office.
Yeah,
it counteracted it. Yeah. So that's the results of, like I said, you can go to explosionnetwork.com and check out all the scores. And
do you want to explain for people how the rules?
The rules, yes. So the scores for each film are based on the Rotten Tomatoes critics' average rating. For every 0.1 above 6.0 a film gets, it gets 1 point. For every 0.1 below 6.0, it loses a point. If a movie doesn't release in the year, it gets treated as 6.0 and therefore 0 points. You also get double points for every 0.1 over 8.0, and then every 0.1 below 4.0 only loses half a point. And also, there are bonus points based on the worldwide box office ranking. If the film is ranked at number 1 for the year worldwide, it earns 20 points, rank 2, 18 points, and so on through to rank 10, earning 2 points. So now we'll both pick 8 movies as well as 2 wildcard entries. The wildcard entries are the critic. If there is a negative critic score, it doesn't count against your final tally, which is important because we both had 1 negative each this year. Me with Halloween Ends, and Dylan with Ambulance. That would have lost us points. So, and then around the July mark, we'll be picking another 3 films to add. So yeah, this also kind of works as an opportunity to talk about some of our most anticipated movies of 2023. Hopefully. So, yeah, I think, as the winner last year, you should go second. So I'm going to go first.
Fair enough.
And for the second year in a row, my number 1 pick, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Surely it's coming out this year. I can't imagine getting delayed again. It looks amazing. The first film, Academy Award winning, loved by everyone. I gave it a 9.5 here at the Exposure Network. It is one of the movies that I regret not giving a 10. Just a fantastic one, and I expect this one to be bigger and better and make a ton more money. So yeah, that's why that's the number 1 pick in the draft. Dylan, what's your first pick?
My number 1 pick is Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. The true story about the man who invented the atomic bomb. It's a Nolan movie, so I'm going to be excited nonetheless, but this is just a really interesting story. Nolan's movies always do both very well at the box office because he shoots them amazingly. They put things in trailers like, from the guy who brought you fucking Dark Knight. And he's apparently blown up shit for this movie. Done a real atomic bomb or some shit they were writing online the other day, which is crazy to think about, but it's also the guy who just crashed an entire plane through an airport for the sake of it. So, hell, why not? Yeah, I feel like it'll do really well at the box office, and of course it'll do very well critically. Nolan's movies generally do. Like he hasn't done a bad movie for a movie that's probably got below like an 8 for ages. So
yeah, I mean, it's got half of Hollywood in the movie, so if each one of those goes and buys a ticket, I'm pretty sure they'll be, halfway there.
Yeah, that works.
All their families go and buy tickets. That was the real strategy behind hiring all these people.
I'm also really happy to see Cillian Murphy get his starring role because he's always supporting in Nolan stuff. So
yes, that's true. All right. My second pick is going to be Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. Of course, Tom Cruise led the way in 2022. I wouldn't be surprised if he's leading away again in 2023. Mission Impossible movies just continue to go from strength to strength. And some of the crazy shit we saw in the teaser trailer, it's like people are going to want to go to the cinema to see Tom Cruise almost kill himself on planes and trains.
Top Gun probably helps too.
How he jumps off a cliff with a motorbike? What?
Space.
Maybe.
Who's going next? Space.
Yes, that's my number 2 pick. Dylan, what's your number 2 pick?
My number 2 pick is Scream 6, or I guess that's what we're actually calling it, based on the most recent teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a super Scream fan. I love the franchise. Really enjoyed the last entry, Scream 2022. Weird to think that I'm talking about a sequel that's coming out in just a few months when the last one just came out. But anyway, here we are. The last one did very well critically and at the box office, like one of the bigger horror movies, if not probably the biggest horror movie of the year. I would fully expect this one to do even better. I can't confirm it'll definitely do well critically. I presume it will because it's the same directors and everything, and I sort of trust the team at this stage. But also, I feel like Jenna Ortega's popularity picking up because of Wednesday will drag along more people to see this one as well.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely one. Do we need to do a Scream podcast?
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing a rewatch. Do a whole because obviously we've done spoiler cast for the first Scream before with Buddy, but maybe we should do a full rewatch. I get you to watch them all, especially because this one has character returning from Scream 4, which I need any opportunity to talk about how Scream 4 is highly underrated.
All right, well, Buddy, if you're listening to this, hit us up, or anybody else who wants to do it, I guess. My third pick is going to be. I'm going to go Dune Part 2. First, Dune Part 1, I guess, was very critically acclaimed. I mean, it's going to be late in the year, so I don't know how much it's going to affect the box office wise. But it is easily one of my most anticipated movies of next year. And with, everybody having been able to watch it in like the year since and kind of experience it, I think it's going to be bigger and better and crazier. And, this one has Florence Pugh in it, so I mean,
Plus 10
that's
points.
got massive pluses. Austin Butler as well, so off the back of his big year. So, Dune Part 2. Don't bet against Villeneuve. Dylan, what's your third pick?
My third pick is going to be Barbie. Greta
Ooh.
Gerwig's Barbie. Teaser just came out. Real fun teaser. But I'm really excited for this movie nonetheless. I think it's going to do well critically because I think it's going to, of course, tackle Barbie as a character in a way that we're not expecting because it's coming from Gerwig. But then I also feel like it's going to do really well financially because of the cast and the fact that Barbie's this thing that everyone knows, and I'll sort of want to watch it because of that. Maybe it's not what a lot of people think it'll be, but I feel like people will go watch it anyway. It has the star power of Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie, two of the biggest Hollywood stars at the moment, to attract people to it. So, I fully expect this to do well critically and financially.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. My fourth pick. I'm going to go with Creed 3. I think the trailer that we saw was amazing. Jonathan Majors looks incredible. I think, women want to go see him, and
the man's eating 20 chickens a day.
We'll see him and Michael B. Jordan with their shirts off punching each other. I think, they're on board with that. I think not having Sylvester Stallone is actually a plus.
Good.
I think, as much as people like, oh, Rocky, he should have been in every movie. It's really sad that he's not in there. I think Creed 2 was kind of held back by Sylvester Stallone's pushing himself into the creative process. So
he literally wrote the script. So
yeah, so not having him on board, I think, will, this gives Michael B. Jordan the chance to be his own man, and a threat in Jonathan Majors, who will probably be on the back of another major project earlier in the year. I think is going to be pretty incredible to watch. Dylan, what is your fourth pick?
Yahoo! The Super Mario Brothers movie. I think that this movie is going to do gangbusters money-wise because it's freaking Mario, Nintendo's first animated live, the first major movie that Nintendo's done. And I think it will surprise people because I'm on board the train now at the stage, and I talked about this on Arcade Couch and stuff. I think the movie's going to be good. I think the movie's going to come out. I think critics are going to, I think everyone's going to write things like, look, it may not be for everyone, but I think it's for the general audience and especially families and stuff.
Despite Chris Pratt playing Mario,
despite Chris Pratt, I'm sure it'll be that'll be it. It'll just be like Chris Pratt's a bit weird, but damn if the movie isn't a lot of fun. And it doesn't really matter. Chris Pratt aside, everyone's going to go watch this. This movie's going to do a lot of money. So, yeah, Mario Bros.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the biggest animated film of next year.
Finally, a Disney movie will have some competition.
Yeah, I don't know what Disney Animation's putting out next year, but obviously we got that Pixar film. But yeah, it looks crazy. So, unsurprising that should be high up on the list. My next pick, I'm going to go with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I think of all the Marvel projects coming out next year, this is the one that has the strongest legacy and is going to get the most people to go see it. I think so. Easily the one that's going to get the most box office wise, and then I think it looks like it's going to be such an emotional story that I think James Gunn is going to say goodbye to these characters in such a great way that surely he's not going to screw it up. It's my thought process. So yeah, out of the Marvel films, this is my pick to earn the most points. Dylan, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Fast X or Fast 10. What do I call it? A bit of a risk taker on the critical side, but you know what? I'm a risky sort of man. And I feel like I'm down for points no matter what when it comes to the box office. Fast and Furious films are usually one of the biggest grossing movies of the year, so that side of everything should still be safe. And it should get a pump into that direction. Like, the movie already would do well anyway, but I think it's going to do better because they're going to start promoting it as like it's part one of a final two films, and they're going to start marketing it as such, and I think that's going to get a lot more interest into it, especially if they lean more into like nostalgia side for people who've been around for like the past 25 million years that this movie's been coming out. So, and it has a chance to be good. It still has a chance to be good. There's no reason it can't, but we shall see. It's a flip of the coin whether it's critically good or not, but money for sure.
All right, my sixth pick is Elemental, the new Pixar film. Original idea about, a world with a bunch of different elemental, like rock, earth, water people. I think there's a great opportunity to be very creative in that world. Sure, I think the only concern, obviously, this is done by Peter Son, who did The Good Dinosaur, which is definitely on the weaker side of the Pixar scale. But, I feel like he's obviously had a lot of time to figure out what he didn't work in that film, and hopefully is able to crack it. And it looks like it's a rom-com-esque kind of story based on the teaser trailer and that kind of stuff. Ops is kind of attracting and that kind of thing. And yeah, I think I'm excited to see the world and kind of see how the Pixar team is able to bring it to life. So yeah, that's why it's high on my list. Dylan, what's your sixth pick?
My sixth pick is going to be Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So this should be, please Lord, make it Harrison Ford's final Indiana Jones movie. He'll die on set. I think it's going to do well critically. I have a lot of faith in the team behind this movie. But box office wise, it's Indiana Jones. Surely. There's no way. Like, big, massive, one of the biggest franchises of all time. How can it not make money? So I really like the first teaser or whatever it was. It was a teaser, I think. It wasn't really a full trailer, but yeah, I'm keen, and I feel like it should be the year. Should be the time for a good Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, my number 7, Asteroid City, the next Wes Anderson film, declared to be the most Wes Anderson of Anderson movies. The premise is, in 1955, students and parents from across the country gather for a scholarly competition, rest recreation, comedy, drama, and romance at a junior stargazer convention in a fictional American desert town. It's got a crazy list of actors involved. Yeah, I think it sounds like a good time, and I think as much as some people want to say they're kind of sick of Wes Anderson's shit, once they watch a new Wes Anderson film, they're like, oh, this is really good. So that's why it's on my list. Dylan, what's your 7th pick?
My 7th pick is going to be Magic Mike's Last Dance. So this is Steven Soderbergh's return to directing what will be the final, I guess, of this trilogy. All these movies have done both really well critically, surprisingly, and I guess especially the first one, which Soderbergh did, was very well beloved by critics. And all of them have done really well box office wise, I guess, for obvious reasons. So, yeah, I haven't watched any of them. I feel like I should in the lead up.
Well,
this is not
that
like
sounds like we need to.
Yeah, and I've always wanted to. I just never got around to it for whatever reason. But yes, so we probably should in the lead up to The Last Dance. Yeah, that's my 7th.
Do his first 2 dances.
Yeah.
All right. My 8th pick. There's a few solid movies on this list. I think I'm just going to put my chips in early. I'm going to go with Ant-Man and the Wasp. One of the other big Marvel projects of the year. Again, betting on Jonathan Majors being a big star, having a lot of draw. This kind of being the first multiverse, well, I guess, kind of the big project for the MCU that we'll see pushing it towards the ending of where this will be our first taste of where this arc is kind of ending up. With Kang being introduced, and we're getting everybody kind of loves Paul Rudd, and this feels like it's going to be the biggest and best Ant-Man and the Wasp film so far. So, yeah, that's why I'm picking that one. Dylan, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is going to be John Wick Chapter 4.
Okay.
So these movies always do very well critically. They always do very well at the box office. This one could be the time that, the tides start to turn, but I don't see it. I feel like this is just the kickoff to a brand new trilogy, and they're just going to keep going well. The first trailer they put out, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm all aboard this. But bloody John Wick's on a horseback shooting people down. Oh, I'm all aboard. Let's go. I can't wait. I love these movies. Came for this. Let's go.
All right. Now we've got our 2 wildcard entries. The idea, movies that may or may not be good, but could potentially make a lot of box office, eliminate some of the risk. So my first wildcard pick is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves. I think this looks like it's going to be so much fun, but it could be also turn out pretty bland. I don't know which direction it's going to go. Dungeons and Dragons has kind of grown in popularity online. Will people be on board with a film? I think it does have a really good cast, a really good directing team. It's from the people who did Game Night. So hopefully it's like that is a great film that's kind of underwatched. So yeah, I think, there's a lot of potential here, but also just because of the property and that kind of stuff, it could go the other way. Dylan, what's your first wildcard pick?
My first wildcard pick is going to be Knock at the Cabin. And the reason I'm picking this as a wildcard pick is because it's directed by M. Night Shyamalan. So I like the trailer. So if you haven't seen this one, the premise is literally these people, like this family's in a cabin, and then some creepy, 4 people show up in the woods, and they knock on the door and sort of tie up the family. And then they're like, we're here to stop the end of the world. And it's like, sure, that's like the very M. Night sort of set up to a movie. But like with all these movies, it'll either be like half good and half bad, or really bad or really good. Like he is a wild card of a director. That's the in the truest of sense. So his movies usually do well at the box office no matter what. I don't think reviews ever affect his stuff. Probably, well, maybe they do a little bit, but in general, I don't think it does. People like watching his movies. But yeah, critic-wise.
What was his last one?
Old.
Olds, yeah. I think that
did well at the box office. It did reasonably well, and the reviews were mixed, but
yeah.
And again, that's a movie really great first half, sort of falls off in the back end, but yeah. So I'm keen to watch this, but yeah, he is a wild card director.
Yeah. And my second pick, Cocaine Bear.
Damn it! That was going to be my second pick.
Just the wild, wacky story of a bear that does a bunch of cocaine. I think it could either be the meme-esque movie that everybody needs to go watch, or it could be just a kind of forgettable film. Either way, I'm on board with it, and I'm hopeful that it will net me a bunch of points. Dylan, what's your second wildcard pick?
All right, I'll go with 65. So I watched the trailer for this. Came out not long before we're recording. I'm not sure when you're putting this out, but this is the one starring Adam Driver, where I'm spoiling the trailer here because I clicked play on this knowing nothing, and when it was revealed, I was like, "That is some wild shit." I'm all aboard. But the premise of this movie is literally Adam Driver is driving this spaceship or whatever, and he crash lands a bunch of people in cryo sleep. And he's like, "Oh, I know where the fuck I am." Turns out it's Planet Apes because he's somehow traveled back in time. He's like, "You bastards!" But he's back 65 million years in the past because he's in a land dinosaur. So it's Adam Driver taking on dinosaurs with futuristic tech. Like guns and grenades and whatever else.
With a young kid, because of course,
with a young kid protecting a kid, yeah, because that's it's going to be the year.
That's all movies are made.
It's 2023 is Gruff Man protecting
children,
yeah, is what it's going to be. But I think the premise is fantastic. It's from the writers of The Quiet Place, minus John Krasinski. I can't remember who the director is. I think it's them. Maybe they're directing it as well.
Yeah,
anyway,
I think they're directing it as well. Yeah,
they're co-directing. Yeah. They've done something else. I need to watch it before because I haven't actually watched the stuff they've directed. I've only watched Quiet Place, but yeah, I think it looks really good premise wise. I love dinosaur shit when it's done right. Obviously, we did rewatch Jurassic Park, and it sort of reminded me how much when dinosaurs are done good. Fuck, I love dinosaurs when they're done good. So yeah, I'm aboard. But this could be terrible as well.
Maybe we can finally get a good dinosaur.
Yeah, because the last one sort of let me down.
Hopefully this one doesn't have many.
Hopefully this one doesn't have any fucking lotus in it. Yeah, exactly. Fucking Adam Driver's like, damn, these dinosaurs are scary, but look out for the lotus. I'm sort of predicting how this movie already end. I'm like, okay, it's just they all just die. The fucking comets, the meteorites come down, they all die. That's the end of the movie. But yeah, I'm keen. It'll either be really, really good or like mediocre. I don't feel like it'll be really, really bad. Adam Driver, I can't see it being in a bad movie, but I could definitely see it coming out and sitting in the 60s.
He has pretty good taste in scripts. And
usually does, yes. So I'm keen. I'm going wild card though, just because like it's a genre movie. So genre movies usually fall in the wild card territory.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's our lists. Some interesting ones that didn't make the cut. Obviously, I think the obvious one that didn't kind of make it, the Marvels, the Captain Marvel movie. Not because we're sexist, just,
I hate Brie Larson. That is a joke. I would like to speak for myself and say that was a joke.
Yes. Also, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I've also on my list was Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. That maybe, and The Flash was the other really big one. No. Yeah, how that's going to turn out. No. So, was there any other like really big ones that you don't think?
The only things on my list that I didn't use actually because you stole.
I do have some other ones, but they're coming later in the year, so I might be able to pick them up.
How many did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I had 17 movies on my list, and all of them were either picked by you or me, apart from. No, only one wasn't picked. Sorry, only one out of this whole list wasn't picked, which is Shazam. So the other 16 movies I had were said by either you or me. So I had a pretty good shortlist then.
Yeah,
all of bar one was
lucky.
Picked, so yeah.
All right, let us know who you think's going to win this year's fantasy movie game. What movies you're excited for in 2023 by going to explosion.com/Twitter, or you can jump into our Discord at explosion.com/Discord. If you want to help us out here, what do you want to watch? Leave us a review on Apple Podcast or on Podchaser. Tell people about the show or leave us 5 stars. Anyone can leave 5 stars. And if you really enjoyed this episode, thought it was worth $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page at explosion.com/support. And of course, head over to explosion.com to check out 2022 results and all our picks for 2023. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess. Specifically the stuff on my list.